What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you my advice to first-year farmers. Let's jump into it. So you may have clicked on this video because you're starting a farm and you want to be successful. And I'm here to help you do that. There's a lot of mistakes that you can make in your first year farming. And so I'm going to hit on some things that I think you really need to focus on in your first year because you can't do everything. So the first thing you need to be doing is growing high value crops. Now, when I talk about high value crops, these are generally crops that grow relatively quickly. These are crops that people like to eat a lot of and eat on a week-to-week basis. And these are crops that generally sell for a pretty high price per pound. These are going to be things like lettuce and spring mix. In my opinion, this is going to be your foundational crop if you're growing on a small scale. And when I say small scale, I'm talking an acre or less, which is going to be most small scale market farmers, market gardeners. That's going to be your foundational crop. We sell this crop, our spring mix, anywhere from $12 to $16 per pound, okay, depending upon the package. Right now we sell a whole pound for $12. If you go down to a half pound, we're at $8 for a half pound bag. That's going to be your foundational crop. That's going to be what provides you cash flow. Secondly is microgreens. Microgreens are going to sell for an even higher price point per pound. We sell a 1.5 ounce package of microgreens for $5, okay? I would say these two crops right here, you need to learn how to master them and grow them week after week after week. You need to master succession plantings and how to start and transplant every single week so that you have a constant supply of this crop. I'm not going to get into the nuances of growing that today. I'm just hitting on, again, my advice for you as a first-year farmer is to focus just on high-value crops. So lettuce, microgreens, and then we're going to hit on some root vegetables, mainly carrots. These take a little bit longer, but most everyone loves carrots. Most everyone loves lettuce. Now, you can also do some summer crops like cherry tomatoes, a little bit of cucumber, maybe some peppers, like bell peppers, and some other root vegetables. Things like radishes and beets. Now, some people may struggle to sell radishes and beets, so I wouldn't really focus a ton on that. But the great part about radishes and beets is that it just kind of is a supplemental root that you can sell. However, I wouldn't grow more than that. Actually, maybe wouldn't even focus on doing root vegetables other than carrots. So if you eliminated radishes and beets, you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crops. Okay. Again, your main focus is going to be the spring mix, microgreens, and the cherry tomatoes, the carrots, the cucumbers, and the bell peppers. That's just all kind of like a bonus item that you're going to be selling along with your other stuff. And so I wouldn't do any more than that in your first year. I want you to focus on mastering the spring mix and microgreens. If you can crush it at that week to week, all these other items are just going to be a supplementary item that people purchase along with the stuff for salads. You're a salad farm. If you're growing small scale, you've got to view it as you're not growing corn and potatoes, folks. You're growing this type of stuff, whether you like it or not. If you want to succeed, if you want to make money, growing on a small scale, this is what you got to do. My second piece of advice would be don't take on debt in your first year. Now, I know you got to have some money to start a farm and to kind of start out. But my biggest piece of advice would be don't go out and get into a bunch of debt to start this farm. Because what you're going to need to figure out is, do you like farming? Is this something that you really actually want to do? If you go out and get into $50,000, $100,000 in debt to start this farm, it can just be really crushing. And you'll be constantly trying to get ahead, trying to get out of debt. And it just adds a lot of stress. I'm not anti-debt. I think there's a time and place to be able to leverage yourself a little bit. But that's not something you want to do in year one. You want to do that maybe year 2, 3, or 4 when you know you have cash flow and you know you can service the debt if you're going to take on any type of loan. So no debt, 0 debt. Guys, you can start this small. You can grow it as you grow your clientele. You don't have to start this massive 1 acre farm. Again, we're starting small. We're going to build it as we build clientele, as we build sales, as we get cash flow, and then you can expand. I think there's some real wisdom in growing slowly. And I think growing fast has a lot of downfalls to it. My third piece of advice to first year farmers is you need other income streams. I know there's a lot of glamour probably in jumping headfirst into going full time on the farm, but it would be something that I would just advise you against because there's just a massive learning curve to learning how to grow and generating sales. There's just so much you're going to learn, especially in year one, and you don't want to be dependent on this income to pay your bills and to feed your family. You want to be able to take all the cash flow from this business and reinvest it to be able to buy more infrastructure. And I would say for the first several years, you really don't want to be taking money from the farm to pay yourself. Maybe you need to pay yourself some. I totally get that. But you want to be able to take as much profit as possible to reinvest into infrastructure for your farm. And so you need other income streams. So this needs to be a side hustle at first. And I know that can be tough for some people depending upon their job situation. But let's say you're self-employed, you've got a couple other businesses to where you can add this quote unquote to, as another income stream. That's the way I've done it. I still have other income streams. That's the way I like to operate. And so the farm is just an additional income stream. And that's what I would tell you to do until you can get the farm to a point where you can go full time, which may take you 3 to 5 years. Then you need other income sources, y'all. So that's my advice to first year farmers. If you're wanting a little bit more of a individualized one-on-one consulting coaching, just to kind of help you think through and launch your farm based upon your budget, based upon sales outlets, I can help you do that. And I do offer consulting services. We'll hop on a Zoom call. We'll look at your farm. We'll help you lay it out. We'll help you make a game plan based upon your budget. And so I'll put some information down in the comments below. If you like this content, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.